Hey guys, it's Heather. I'm here to show you today how to create this mixed media piece on a MDF board. All the supplies will be listed in the description box. So let's get right to it. So the first thing that I did is I have some focal points and I just cut these out, and I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge on first and put them to the side while I do other things. We're going to use these for a transfer later in the project. Okay, so the next step is I have a 12 by 12 MDF board, and I got this cut at Home Depot. You can just go to Home Depot and ask them to cut an MDF board in the size that you want. And then I'm just going to take a bunch of different scrap papers. I have some music paper, some line paper, some old book pages, and I'm going to use Mod Podge and glue them on and cover the whole board for texture. Okay, so now I have some gesso, and I'm going to take a credit card and I'm going to dip it in the gesso, and I'm just going to swipe in all different directions on the entire piece. And there is no rhyme or reason to this, or no specific way to do it. You just get some gesso on there and just start swiping. Okay, so once that is dry, what I've done is I've cut up a cereal box, and I have a butterfly die cut, and I just put that through my Sizzix. You can use any shape that you really want. And I'm going to use this to create some butterflies in the piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a light coat of Mod Podge on the entire piece. Just a very light coat. You don't want to glue these down, you just want them to stick while you are putting your paint on. Then you're going to lay down all of the butterflies in just any way that you want them to be on the piece. Okay, so then I have some acrylic paint, blue acrylic paint with some matte medium mixed in there. And I'm just going to put on a few layers of different colors. The colors really just depend on what you want. It doesn't really matter. Probably something that's going to go along with your focal point. And then I'm going to get a paper towel and lay it down and slowly pull it up, and then you get the indentions of the paper towel in there, which is really cool. And you need to do this while the paint is still wet. And then the next step is you're gonna like gently pull these butterflies off of the piece. And you can see how it's kind of like a stencil in a way. Okay, so you want that layer to be fully dry. Then I'm going to get out a sander, and you can use a piece of sanding paper or whatever you have, and I'm just going to kind of push some of that back and create some more texture, rip up that paper a little bit. And you can do this, it's really as much as you like or as little as you like. Then I'm going to do another thin coat of Mod Podge, and I'm going to do the same thing with just different colors. I'm going to lay my butterflies down, and I'm going to put them in different places this time. Then I'm going to take some matte medium in the colors that I want, and I'm just going to go around each butterfly and add 3 different colors. In this case, I'm using orange and yellow and white, but the colors can be whatever you choose. Then you're going to gently pull off the butterflies. Then you want to make sure that that layer is completely dry, and then get your sander back out and sand again. Okay, so I have some jelly prints that I have previously made, and I've just tore those up and I'm going to put those down in different spots. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to take a little bit of matte medium and some burnt umber, and I'm going to kind of grunge this up a little bit. You can also just use burnt umber and water. It just depends on, what kind of look you're going for. Then you're going to lay down a paper towel so that you get the marks, the impressions inside the paper towel. Okay, so now we're going to get our flowers out that we put a coat of Mod Podge on earlier. And we're going to put another coat of Mod Podge on top of them and then place them on the piece where we want them. Get a credit card and make sure or a napkin, and make sure you got it firmly pressed down on the piece. And we're going to let this sit for at least an hour, a couple hours, just to really make sure that the Mod Podge underneath is completely dry, because this is called a transfer. We're transferring these images onto the MDF board. Okay, so the next step is I have this King Art jelly crayons, and I'm going to go on the inside of the butterflies and kind of give them some color, make them pop. So I'm just going to put a little color on there and like rub it in with my finger. And if you get too much on there and you don't like it, then you can just take a baby wipe and wipe it right off. And then I also have a Stabilo, and I'm going to use that around the butterflies for some shading. Stabilos are really awesome. You can add water to them to get them to move around. They're really awesome for shading. Then I'm going to take my Stabilo and go around the whole piece. The next step is we're going to remove the paper on top of the transfer. So you're going to get a little bottle of water and you're going to spray it on top, and you're just going to take your fingers and lightly rub that top piece of paper off. I used a thick paper, so it's a little bit difficult to get it off. so it just takes extra rubbing it off. But you can use any type paper that you really want to use. This is what it looks like with all the paper rubbed off. The transfer, I think it turned out really, really pretty. So the next step is I'm going to take a little bit of matte medium and some paint, and I'm just going to kind of put a pop of color in the middle because I want my focal point to really, really stand out. Okay, so the next step is to get your focal point, and I have this beautiful bird, and I'm just going to lay this down with some Mod Podge. Now I have this little fine liner, and it has airbrush medium and acrylic paint in it, and I'm just going to scribble out the word fly. It takes me a couple of tries to get it the way that I want, but the good thing about this is if you don't like it, you can just wipe it off with a paper towel or a baby wipe and do it until you really like it. And then the last step is to get some Spectrafix and spray it over the entire piece. This is a great fixative for mixed media works. And that is it. That's how I created this mixed media art. I hope that you found this helpful as you're creating mixed media pieces. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!